So immediately I thought of a story. Okay, what hit me first was like, Curt, when you said joy takes effort. And if I'm preparing a meal, it takes a lot of effort if that's the place I'm looking to create joy. But so there are other ways.
Yeah.
But that it takes work, but then shame, like it doesn't take much work at all.
No.
And I have a story. One of my friends' little girls, she was walking. So do you walk at 2 or?
Yeah, you can walk at 2.
So maybe it was she was walking, but like toddling.
Yeah.
And in my neighborhood, there are people have put up swings like on their trees out front for everybody to use as they want. So I would take her to the swing. I took her to one of the swings, and it was one of those where you buckle her in like a little bucket thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was pushing her. She was swinging, and the rope. She was fine. She's fine. I will start with that. She was fine. But the rope broke, and she and the little bucket went flying. And immediately, and there was a brick wall that she was headed right toward. And, just immediately my world sunk. I thought,
did the airbags deploy?
Yeah. I wish we had airbags to deploy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm watching this and I'm feeling this, right? Like, oh yeah.
So I go get her and I just scoop her up. She's not screaming. And then I'm like, well, maybe you should be screaming. Why aren't you screaming? She ended up to be 100% fine, but it took me forever in that moment in that day to just come off of that.
Right.
But then after that, I felt so much shame about like, how could I let that happen? And why didn't what could I have done? Like gone and checked all the swings. And then I was angry. like,
right.
Why don't you people check your swings? Like,
yeah.
And I had 2 thoughts about that. One, the ease of getting back to that shame is like, all I have to do is think about that swing. And
it doesn't take much.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But the 2 things I thought is it's lingering. And like Curt, when you talked about the lies, like what lies do we believe? The fabulous thing is there's work and it's work that can be done. Like identifying the lies that we believe. We have to work at that. Thank God there's work to be done. And then like having a community, have a trusted one or a trusted group. Then as we share little shames and we see someone look us in the eye and tell us the truth of it and accept the truth, then I anticipate that the next time I maybe share a little bigger shame.
That's right.
And it perpetuates this whole other experience.
Right. And, one of the things though, too, that's really interesting, one of the phrases I give patients is, you can work hard and stay in prison, or you can work hard and go free. But like hard work isn't an option. Like you're going to work hard.
Right.
But the kind of work that you do to stay in prison or to go free is categorically a different kind of work.
Yeah.
You're going to burn energy, but it's going to be a very different kind of energy that you're going to burn. And so, one of the things that happens is like, we share these smaller shames, and then we have the courage to share the next level.
Right.
And somehow we think that, oh, okay, I've done this. Okay, I can do this now, right? And then you get to the next level and you're like, wait a minute, I thought it would actually be easier.
Yeah.
And it feels more difficult. And in fact, it is. But this is where, like we say, like evil is awake and active 24/7. Like it is not going to bed. Evil will want to say, well, Curt, if you really had made progress, then this should be easier.
It wouldn't be hard. Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard. Without recognizing that, no. Actually, if I give into shame, the next time something like this happens, it will be easier for me to give in even more to shame. It will take even less effort for me to capitulate to that.
Right.
So it's kind of like, if my choice is to stay on the couch instead of going to lift, The next time the option is there, it will be even easier for me to stay on the couch. Whereas if I go to choose to lift, I lift. But if the next time I go to choose to lift, there's going to be more weight on the bar.
Yeah. And you know what, Amy and I've talked about this before, that when you're in a season and you're really working out and you're taking care of yourself and you feel so good, right? Because, you know, the endorphins and you're just, you know, and it's like, why do I ever not do this? Right. And then you stop for whatever reason, you get hurt or something, you stop.
Yeah, right.
It is the hardest thing in the world to start again.
Oh.
Even though you have the memory of how awesome it was, it also is hard. It also, to get to that place, it's work to get, you know, to even get to those feelings. But it's like, it's the hard, once you stop, it's so hard to start again. Even, yeah.
Well, and it takes 6 months to get fit and 6 minutes to get out of shape.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, I had the flu. Now I'm out.
This world that we're living in, where shame perpetuates itself, joy, you got to work your tail off to have any. What is the deal?
What's the deal?
What is the deal?
I know. Right. I got questions for Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you know, it's funny that the this happens a lot with our patients. This notion that, you know, they're doing all this progressive work. There are a number of people that are coming to mind. They're doing all this work that is demonstrating, you know, harder. Yeah, but they're basically, you know, they used to, like, they couldn't lift the 45-pound bar, let alone put any weight on it. And now, like, they're benching 200, right? This is what they're doing.
Right.
And the next thing comes along and, you know, now it's 205 that's on the bar. And they're like, this isn't supposed to be this hard. And the thing is, like, there's the work of the extra weight. And then there is the work of changing the perception of what increasing the weight actually means. With my left brain, I can know, oh yeah. If I'm benching 200 and before I couldn't even bench the bar, like that's a sign, that's a good sign. But like in the moment when you put 205 on the bar, like this doesn't, like, why? Like, it is so easy for me to reactivate old neural networks that equate that there is something that I cannot do well in the moment. It echoes old stories. It echoes old stuff, old traumatic events. And this is some of, you know, some of the news that we work with patients of trauma is to say, I just want you to know that you can make real gains. You can move toward places of flourishing, and not to be surprised at what might happen somewhere down the road when you're in a much healthier place and something happens. And it feels like the world is falling apart again. I may have told this story before. My friend Byron, with whom I played basketball with for 20 years, 2 times a week. And one night we're playing and he falls under the basket and he shatters his elbow. And for our, you know, many of you may know, it's one of the worst fractures that a human can have in many respects for a lot of different reasons. He has surgery and he reworks it and he's fine. And so, but, you know, it's 6 weeks or whatever it takes him to get, you know, rehabbed and everything back. And so he's fine. A year later, we're playing.
Oh, no.
And somebody just dings his elbow. Like, it's fine. Like, his elbow is completely healed. It's fine. Dings his elbow and it drops him to the floor. Because the bone fracture lines, like the nerve endings, take time to completely reknit in a way. The bone remembers. And in that moment, it feels like 12 months ago when, like, you just wanted to cut your arm off. And this is kind of what trauma can sometimes do, which is why it's really important for us to have community around us all the time that can say, oh, yeah, that's what this is.
Mhm.
and look at us, watch listen to my voice, look at my eyes. We're with
Mhm.
you,
Mhm.
right? This sense, like I think about Luke's rendition at the end of Jesus' temptations in the desert. Luke's rendition says, and the devil left him for another time. That there was going to be another time coming. And after you've been through all that, and I think this is true for each of us, that even as we are on the road to healing of our trauma, that along the way, there will be moments when things can reignite and reactivate old remembered experiences that feel like unto that have resonance with old things. And that can tempt us to think we're just headed down the same rabbit hole, but in fact we don't, and we're not.
Right.
And we don't have the flashback. And the thing that used to, if it woke me up in the morning, it was with me all day. Now I think about it during the day and it bothers me a little bit, but doesn't keep me from going to sleep at night. And so
Right.
these kinds of things can we definitely can find healing, but that healing can take time. And even in the process of that healing practice, evil will want to use shame every opportunity it gets, even to kind of like distort our interpretation and perception of the healing process itself. And this is why we need community to be able to say, yep, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But we are here and we're not leaving the room. And we want you to pay attention to us, not that thing that's banging around in your head.
And we saw you when you were laying on the floor in the fetal position, and now you're standing up straight. Let's count every victory, right?
Right.
I joke, but really,
Right.
it's like
Truly.
you need people that are seeing you on your journey, so they can point those kind of things out to you when you think you've not made a difference.
Right.
Yeah,
They have a different
Right.
perspective.
yeah,
Right.
And to your point, Curt, like the idea that it's hard work. So we just want to do the right hard work, right?
Right.
It's hard
Yeah.
work to ignore shame and to try to dodge and weave.
Yep.
It's like somebody said, and I have to look it up. It tastes like salt. Does that mean anything to either of you?
It feels familiar.
It's I'll have to look it up, but it's the idea that it's rich. It's if it tastes like salt, that's good. That's life-giving. It's the right kind of pain. It's the right kind of work. It's the right kind of hard.
Yeah. 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 It's good. It's good.
that's from my book.
That is yet to be
It's
written.
entitled "The Rim of a Margarita Glass." Subtitled, "It Tastes Like Salt."
I'll have one.
Well, it is Friday.
I'll have one and then another, I think.
Yes. Hey, you guys, thanks for today. This was really,
Yeah.
It's great.
this is really great.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good.